Yeah, they up my dosage to 4 milligrams of the GLP in the pill from 1.5. I've eaten some pita today. That's it.
That's dangerous,
fucking
man.
Pita bread.
No, like, because I started at 2.5 and then they moved me up to 5. And
oh my God,
it is.
I do not want to go higher, dude. I got used to the 1.5 towards the end, but it's like, I'm good, dude. This is like...
It's dangerous because you have to like force protein down your throat in any fucking capacity you can. Pause. Like it's really like, it's tough. There are days where it's like, I just don't want to eat anything and I just want protein shakes because it's the only thing that works
in the world, you know?
Great.
Yeah. Hey, what are you acting like? Oh, I'm offended at that. You're the one who did the pause joke.
I know. I just I do it subtly, and you.
That wasn't subtle.
You
what?
go
Hold
right
on.
for
Do you
it.
actually think the pause joke is subtle?
Saying the word pause is much more subtle than saying dicks.
No. Pause might as well
Hunt.
be a slur. If you say pause, you might as well just be saying a slur. Are we for real? Maybe in 2005. That's subtle. It's been 21 years of pause. Pause can not only drink, but can go to war. There is no way anyone does not understand that in 2026.
She really is the biggest mush.
Yeah, she's like a large sack of mashed potatoes. You know, just
a mashed potato sack that needs affection.
What's weird is like, yes, but also no, because she's about to like leave. Like, she doesn't look like she's going to leave. She looks like she's incredibly comfortable. She looks like this is her favorite place on earth, but like, check this out. Okay, I was wrong.
I was about to say, I'm checking this out, and
I was wrong.
She is still there.
Normally she would.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Taxi, like I said, Taxi is the same way, but for him, after a while, he's just like, I'm just too warm for this, and please put me back on the floor because you're a radiator, and I'm tired of this shit. So, I get you. But you ready to talk about Marvel Snap?
Yeah. I mean, we could try to do that.
Occasionally. I mean, it is what the people tune in for every now and then.
Is it?
Sometimes. I mean, it depends on the podcast that you're involved in. It really it fluctuates with the quantity of Snap content that must be involved in said broadcast.
I'll be honest, I've never really gotten a handle on it. Like, it's just fundamentally, there are, for some reason, people that enjoy watching me just do whatever. I can't explain it. It makes no sense to me.
I mean,
it's a much smaller contingent, but like shockingly large in the sense that it exists at all.
You know what else is shockingly large? The length of your hair, good sir. Up until that video, I had never seen your hair down. And I'm not going to lie, as long as I've known you with said man bun, I did not expect the full locks ever to be shown on screen like that. Like,
oh, well, yeah. I mean, I got to do the bit, right?
Of course.
It's well past my shoulder blades. Like, not my shoulders, my shoulder blades. It is well past there. But like, people think I do this for aesthetics or whatever. They're like, oh my God, your hair. Look at your hair. I don't do this for aesthetics. I do this because I have a pretty wide face and I want to keep shaving the sides. But I don't want to have to keep cutting the top. So what I did during the pandemic was just grow it out and shave the sides till it was basically this long. Cut it off, became a full-time streamer, and suddenly it's like, oh, wait, I don't have to go get haircuts anymore. Just shave the sides every like 2 weeks or whatever, and I could be as lazy as I want, and no one can tell how long my hair is. And this is actually proof. No one had any idea, apparently.
Yeah.
I thought it was like at least a little obvious from the size of the bun, but everyone's just like, what the hell? Where'd all that hair come from? It's been here the whole time.
It's a shock factor, you know, I think, because that's the first time you've ever shown your hair like that on stream, on video, on any of your Marvel Snap content.
I did a hair down thing on Twitch a while back.
Okay, so then it's been a long time to say the minimum. So even if they had seen it, like I know I hadn't, and then that jump scare beginning to the video talking about Kraglin, who we'll talk about in a second for a bit, just because it's all it deserves.
You
was
gotta
kind of
stay
like,
off Krag.
I know.
You gotta stay off Krag.
And I agree. I just was very thrown off by that because I wasn't expecting it. And I think that shock value is something that I want to like, congratulate is the wrong word. I'd like to praise you for, because it's not something that I've typically seen from your content. And over the last couple of months, I've seen you experimenting with that, like the golden cubes, and you're going through the shtick bits, if you will, a little more so, and they're good. I want you to know they're good. And it really does speak to who you are, that a lot of people, and I know we've talked about this at length too, that for some reason people don't see that side of you, whether it's live or on video. I'm like, guys, this is KM. Like, this is him.
People think I'm very serious about stuff. I'm the least serious person you know. Like, it's very odd that that's sort of like the image that gets put off. But that is what it is. Yeah. We should talk about keeping kids off Krag. It's more important to do that. This is a moral imperative. We have to keep kids off Krag.
Yeah, and
we cannot have Krag heads running around hitting Krag pipes.
Yeah, it's bad. Like, I left experimenting with the card in a couple of different ways and kind of just felt like it works-ish. But I never know. I haven't gotten to a place yet where I feel like this is just necessary, because it's the 13th card in every deck.
I mean, I don't think it's even that, but you sent me the most illegal deck I've ever seen.
Which one?
You sent me the one where it was Quicksilver, Shang-Chi, Wiccan, Star-Lord.
Oh,
that's criminal. Yeah. That's criminal. You should go to jail for that. Like, that is like, I saw that and I was like, is this a bit? Is this just like an extended bit that he's doing? Because he's like, this is the first deck I'm going to try with. This is the first deck I'm going to try with Kraglin, and it's Wiccan Star-Lord. And we know how I feel about Wiccan generally.
Yes.
Like, just sort of generally. It's like, okay, that's horrible. Wiccan Star-Lord is like ascended. And then he was like, I
didn't send you that.
But you know what? Yes, you did.
I'm looking at it.
You said, "Oh no,
wait,
here's
the Surfer deck."
Line.
Oh, the Surfer deck. Sorry, the one I haven't. I changed that deck later on because the one I sent you didn't work as well as I wanted it to, and I ended up removing Star-Lord from the deck and kept Wiccan.
I mean, I guess,
and it worked better, legitimately.
Yeah, because you're saying that like it's a surprise. You are playing Quicksilver. Yeah, I bet it worked better. Like, you're playing all the cards.
Yeah,
you play on curve.
I tried 3 different versions of it. I tried one with the Wiccan version. I tried the Star-Lord version, and then I tried the Wiccan plus Star-Lord. And it was just trying too hard at that point. But there is something with the Kraglin deck in general.
I didn't even get to the punchline. The punchline wasn't "this deck is bad." That's, mildly funny. The punchline is, you then said, "Oh, my bad. I sent you the wrong list."
Because I
meant to not have Gwenpool in it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. This was the one I settled on out of all of the tweaking of trying to make Surfer work eventually. The closest I got was putting Gwenpool back in, keeping Star-Lord and getting rid of Wiccan. And cut Wiccan. Like, I kept going all over the place trying to figure out how I could make Surfer work with Kraglin. But the problem is,
sure.
There's so much that can't happen, whether it's Kraglin or not. It's just Surfer needs a lot of help, and I think he gets a little help this upcoming week, but it just can't stack high enough. And I had fun with the deck.
Yeah.
I had fun with the build, and Kraglin, like, when it does the cool thing, it's cool. When it doesn't do the cool thing, it sucks. Like, it just sucks more often than not.
I would argue it sucks in both cases. Like, okay, you played bad Drax or bad Wave.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
You're not wrong.
It's a split card where it's bad versions of a card you could play. And I think, unlike in another game where a split card represents utility you always have access to. Like in Magic, you choose one of the sides, right?
Yeah.
It is not something that is chosen for you. With Kraglin, the fact that there is no choice in this means that you are unable to meaningfully build around it unless you do what Binks did and just be like, all right, everything in this deck costs 4. And it's like, then you have successfully built around the card. That is what you have to do. The most reliable Kraglin deck I found was using Howard the Duck and Kraglin to do deck thinning. And the reason that's the most reliable bit is because that's the only effect that Kraglin has that happens every turn, every game. When you play Kraglin, you know you're deck thinning. You know you're getting rid of a card. That's the only thing you know.
Yeah,
so
and that specifically, I think, is why this card right now doesn't work. Not just in general doesn't work, but right now. Because a lot of the decks that are really good are big single linear play lines. It's not even...
with a lot of synergy built in.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a card that says if you lose one piece to it, several different parts of that sandcastle crumble. And my best build with Kraglin only worked because it had too many different play lines to work with to make something a winning condition. It had Merc Ball, it had
This what I'm looking at right now, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's like
on screen.
Yeah, this one was about a 70% win rate over 20 games in Infinite. And I was like, okay, you know what, this isn't bad. And it had some good things to it. It had a little bit of a ramp feel, a little bit of a defensive feel. It wasn't terrible, but it was consistent. And consistent is good, but I never felt like this list is better than anything else with Hydra Stomper in it. It was good.
Yeah.
But not perfect.
I was going to mention Batroc, where it's like, look,
exactly.
if you want like a consistent output deck, like there's a better thing to be doing here.
100%.
Like the 3 pillars of the metagame right now are Star-Lord, Batroc, and Sholau. And like, I don't even know if I can call it 3 pillars when half the Batroc decks are just Sholau decks. Like, that's just where we're at. I have a pretty consistent position on this, that I have a lot better of an idea of how to beat Star-Lord. Whether or not we think that that's like an okay play pattern, all of that aside, if I want to beat Star-Lord, I can do it. If I want to beat Sholau, I've got nothing. Which sort of makes me afraid for the upcoming OTA, where it's like, oh, we're gonna nerf Star-Lord, and then they just leave us in Sholau Batroc meta for 10 million years. And I do not want to go back there, man.
Speaking of which, I have a message for...
Oh, is it a selection of people frying me?
No. I have a message for your basement troll, Jerry.
Oh, for Jerry?
Yeah,
yes.
For Jerry. I want you to tell him from me, please, that Wasp cooks.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, this
really,
isn't exactly what I'd be doing, but like,
really cooks.
It's really hard to make. It's really, really hard to make a bad version of this deck. It is really difficult.
The Jean Grey in here was so damn powerful. And the second I started using Wasp as a 3-card alternate play for Sholau to have one Wasp Sholau, oh my God, that extra flexibility was so damn good. Jerry was really onto something with that. He really was.
I think this is probably a little bit worse than, not doing it. But I think it's sort of indicative of where this is at, where it's like, I would say this is maybe 3 cards off what I'd be playing.
Yeah,
but you probably won't notice or care.
Yeah, it's still gonna hurt.
It's still gonna beat your ass. Like you're still gonna get dunked on. It's like, it is what it is. Should that Wasp be Maverick? Like, yeah, okay, probably. But does it really matter that much? Not really.
No, that's why I like this list so much.
Yep.
That's exactly why I liked it.
People get on me for saying they need to nerf Batroc. I think it's like the most obvious thing in the world. Like, to me, it's just like, that card is so clearly ridiculous. And everyone else is like, have you seen the Ask the teams lately? There was an Ask the team that was like, the majority of players are quitting due to Star-Lord. And Glenn answered it like, no, they aren't laughing emoji. Like, like people are so up in arms about this card.
Yeah.
It has gotten to a point where people are like, by the way, I checked in on this. I know a person who tracks infinite numbers. And I'm going to throw a stat at you, and I would just like your interpretation of it. As of a couple of days ago,
okay,
more people hit infinite this month than did last month in the same time frame. By about 10%. About 10% more people.
Okay. I can believe that.
I can believe it, but only if you accept that like everyone on Twitter is just lying about quitting.
Well, I mean, those, to be fair, play devil's advocate for a second. Those two numbers are actually not related. Quantitative versus percentage.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
10% more people. So if at this time last season, 5,000 people were at infinite. We'll go over the top, right? 5,000 people were at infinite a week into the season. Season 2, 5,500 people are. That's great. If the entire player base is 100,000 people, but 20,000 people left, sure, more people made it to infinite, but we lost more.
Right. I just like a lot of the like, I would bet that infinite is a pretty consistent percentage of the population. Like the percentage of players that hits infinite is relatively static.
Yeah.
And corresponds reasonably to the player base. Like whatever that percentage is.
5 to 10% of the player base, I'd say, is probably hits infinite every season, or by the end of the season really is infinite, I think is a better way to word it.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what that number is. It just matters that that number is the thing that is less likely to change in this equation, right?
Yeah.
Like what you're saying is possible, but I would argue pretty unlikely.
I remember when it was a couple of years ago, some interview of some kind. I'd have to go digging for it, but I know it's out there in the interwebs. Somebody in the comments will find a link.
They said it used to be 5%.
Right. It used to be 5%. Nowadays, I could easily expect that number to be higher just because of a smaller player base over 3 years of time. But I wouldn't expect it to be anything higher than 20%. I would guesstimate lower.
What's weird is like, if you ask me to vibe check, I see a lot of people complaining about, oh, I'm quitting. I see a lot of people complaining about the infinite climb is harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see these numbers and I'm like, something's not adding up to me. And I know it's probably like safe bet to be like, what's not adding up is the only people who are posting are the people who are just mad as shit. Mm. And they are being outweighed. Here's something that I didn't expect. You know the video we did where I got fried in the comments for my Star-Lord take?
Yeah, which I want to talk about, but yeah.
I'm sorry?
Which I want to talk about after your point, but yes.
Oh, sure, yeah. There were a couple comments that were really surprising to me, which were from relatively newer players who were saying things like, I hate seeing enfranchised players whine about Star-Lord because it feels like they're just mad that I got a card that can actually compete with their collections. And I was surprised too. Don't get me wrong. I hadn't thought about it. It's like, okay, interesting. But it struck me as like, you know how there's always sort of two sides to coins, you know?
Ideally, in a normal coin, sure.
Yeah, in a normal world, there you're not, playing like a rigged game or anything like that. But like, this is one of those things where it's like, that is genuinely an angle I hadn't considered. And specifically in the context of like, I forget exactly when I thought about this, but you know the Chinese version of Marvel Snap with other like super power crept things?
Mm-hmm.
You know what that does is onboard new players into the end game faster.
By skipping over the old game. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's not a necessarily good method of doing that, but that is actually something Marvel Snap notably lacks. There is not a way for you to start this game and go get a good deck immediately. Frankly, unless there's a busted build around Season Pass.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I didn't think about it, you know?
Yeah. This might be the closest it's ever been.
Come together. Yeah, like it didn't
Yeah.
really come together for me until I saw those comments, and I was like, oh, because like it's not a good solution. The solution is obviously make the new player experience less ass and take less long, right?
Yeah.
But for now, that's the best Band-Aid someone has. Is like a Sholau comes out, you get the Sholau. A Star-Lord comes out, you get the Star-Lord. They are their own decks. You have something that functions.
Yeah.
And with Star-Lord, it's even more pronounced because you have the High Evo. That's a pretty reasonable card to go get. The other cards that work with him are Zola and Absorbing Man and Grandmaster, all Series 3. Like, I'm not saying this is like the greatest budget deck of all time.
No, I get
But it's
that.
a lot closer to one than I ever thought of it being. Because I never thought of it being one.
It's it's almost counter. It's an interesting counterpoint. No, I know it's a counterpoint to something that I know I've had as a personal belief for a long time is that like Star-Lord and Sholau, season passes should be more plug and playable. You know, easily be able to slot in your Iron Patriots, your Sam Wilsons, it has a little bit more flexibility in archetype. It's not like a discard card or a destroy card like we had with the Weapon X season. That just was awful because I got a season pass for a card that I have not played since the first week of the season, even in game modes. Like, it's just, sorry. I just hated that season.
Well, hold on. He was okay in Grand Arena.
I didn't even play him in Grand Arena, to be honest, but that's another topic. Like, they should be more plug and playable. However, what's happening though is that they're not plug and playable into other decks. They're plug and playable to certain packages, right? If you want to play a Star-Lord deck, you don't need to play a Star-Lord deck. You need to play a Star-Lord package, which means you have to have Arnim Zola, Grandmaster, Absorbing Man. If you want to play that package into a other deck, sure, then you go into the world of Evo. Then you go into the world of whatever the hell you want. Let's be honest here. Yeah, Fin Fang Foom, if you have that too. Like Red Hulk, yada, yada, yada. You pick and choose your battle from that point on. But the barrier to entry, those cards, they're not targetable. The Series 3 cards are not targetable. I hadn't
thought about it. Like, I hadn't thought about it in that context, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like a lot of things, it's really easy, I think, when you talk long enough and you're good enough at talking to be right, even if you're not right. And so I sort of forced myself to try to like maintain that dual perspective on this kind of stuff. I had genuinely not seriously considered this as a catch-up mechanism. I think that if you look for an example of when that backfires, what they did to Mr. Fantastic First Steps, that was a card that was a catch-up mechanism. Suddenly, every deck you made was 11 cards. You were just like, this card goes in all my decks. Every single one of them gets better. I get to play this. I went out and got it. And then it stopped going in all my decks. And that's why that card won the my little Golden Cubes thing. Like, that's why. It's because that's how people felt about it. And I am struck by how everything is the monetization's fault, basically. Like, it keeps happening.
It'll always be the monetization's fault, let's be honest. But through that same lens of the season pass is the catch-up mechanic, I don't even know if it should be looked at as a catch-up mechanic, because a catch-up mechanic would
shouldn't.
No, would make more sense if the other core pieces were more easily accessible. However, using your Mr. Fantastic analogy, a standard Patriot deck is astronomically better with that card in it versus without that card in it. That version back then. Like, it's just an elevator of an archetype.
Yep.
And Star-Lord did the same thing right now for High Evo, right? It just brought it up a whole nother to a competitive tier. And if you have those pieces, you see people playing the High Evo versions and messing around with it in Infinite. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think it's a competitive tier. It's just like, it's a lot better than it was.
Yeah,
The problem is it just vastly overshadowed by the other Star-Lord decks. But other than that,
right. I mean, your biggest number wins. So yeah, go for the
right?
biggest
Like
number if you're going to do
they
it.
should put text on. They should put text on Star-Lord that says you can't play this in a deck that doesn't have high evo in it, and also like Wasp. Like you have to play this in a Wasp deck or whatever.
Like you build the deck, and like, the second you add it in, it just auto defaults. And puts the Wasp in there, and you can't drag it out until you drag out Star-Lord.
You can't get rid of the Wasp. Yeah, you can't get rid of the Wasp. You can't.
I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of mechanic happened in the future, though. Like something along those lines.
It is horrible.
Yeah,
I think that is a terrible mechanic.
Yeah.
But I largely bring this up to say, like, this is not a defense of Star-Lord because he shouldn't have to do this.
Yeah. No.
There should be something else doing this.
Right. It's the structure of the strength of season passes, not the diversity of the season pass. Like if current Iron Patriot came out as the season pass, think about that. That would have been probably the most well-rounded season pass they could have dropped in a long time. Because the first version was too cracked.
Cannot stress that enough. That card is still really damn good.
Exactly. It is really good in a variety of different decks. And if you're not sure, you can still throw it in to almost any deck and it'll still be a valuable card in some capacity. So that's kind of more the structure of what I think of when I think of a really good season pass card. That's the elevator. That Mr. Fantastic, that's the elevator. Shou Lao, almost in that direction, because it does pigeonhole a little bit on, you got to play multiple cards, but which of those multiple cards? I mean, you just said it last week. People are playing it in Destroy because you play multiple cards. People are playing it in Bounce instead of Iron Man. Playing multiple cards or playing it in every classic, what we'll call Shou Lao build. Why? Because it's built around the same principles as what Thena did, which we already had practice in. So you build around multiple cards. It's just, it has multiple archetypes to work within. But Star-Lord is a new, different kind of enabling in and of itself. And that catch-up mechanic to give someone else a chance who may not have the best 5-drop to add with their deck. Now I can have 2 of them. Why? Because I have Star-Lord and I can try to keep up.
Yeah, like people are playing it in Mr. Negative. Is that as good as playing Mr. Negative?
When did that shit start?
God, no. It is. There's a guy in High Infinite named, I think, like MITM or something like that, who's been playing it for a little bit. That's the person that I saw it originating from. But I don't think it's like, I think what's really good about that deck is that it gets to be a good Shang-Chi Killmonger deck while also being like a kind of a combo deck, right? Like those cards are really good right now. Killmonger blows up Batroc. Killmonger also really good if you're doing like a lot of Shou Lao Batroc stuff, because every Shou Lao Batroc deck for the most part is a Maverick deck. Maverick decks target a 1-drop. That 1-drop dies to Killmonger. That's pretty straightforward and pretty good, right? There's also just like, obviously Shang-Chi quite good if people are doing various Fin Fang Foom things. Pretty good thing to be doing. It basically just benefits from being a Zola overlap card is my understanding.
More than anything else, yeah. I'd agree
because
with that.
You're already a Zola deck, you can put him in there, and then if you draw him in Zola, you get like a half of a Mr. Negative. And it's like, well, that's better than not doing that. Like it's just pretty much it, right? Yeah. Like it's better than not. Like it's an upgrade by virtue of everything else in the deck being like superfluous payoff.
Yeah.
So I do think that is like a good deck, as it were. Like it's probably the best Mr. Negative deck
right now. Yeah, because it has
not because like Star-Lord is incredibly busted or anything. Just like anything that ups your consistency, you're already going to win the game when you do the thing.
Right. It also dances around the 5% of people that happen to be playing Mobius because you have another option. You just do the Star-Lord thing.
Honestly, like
that's like huge. So for that deck, that's huge.
Nobody's playing that card in a million years.
I was being optimistic with 5%, man. All right,
I think it's probably the best Mr. Negative deck if I had to guess. Like just because there's an old team answer on this where like anytime like a card comes out that's good after you Mr. Negative, people always are like, oh my God, this is busted in Mr. Negative. And Glenn's answer was always like, look, dude, that's not what makes this deck busted. What makes this deck busted is more ways to do the first part of it. More ways to make Mr. Negative happen. A second Mr. Negative, a second Jane Foster. And this isn't that. it's like half of one. But that's still better than 0 of one. You know what I mean? And so like that's I think that's pretty cool. You know, people, what's going to happen is they're going to nerf Star-Lord to like 4-3. People are going to be like, he's busted in negative now.
Don't even put that out there in the world. But no, to that conversation, I kind of want to backtrack a second because you mentioned the 8 Cubes episode. And, you know, thank you so much again for, you know, having me on your show to, you know, sit in for Lambie for the week and honestly talk a lot more about Star-Lord than both of us expected to going into that episode. To be like
30 minutes and
normally
we're not.
Yeah, not at all. And I mean, sure, on this platform, we go into a lot more detail. We speak for at least an hour, hour and a half sometimes. I mean, it's just a different show. But it just kind of de facto happened about that topic more than anything else. And then we go into the other topics as well. But I wanted to talk briefly about the community's reaction to it, because I want to be on the record for this and in front of you for this one more than anything else. Y'all were too fucking harsh.
Do you need to clarify? Do you need to clarify that you don't hate me?
No, that I've made that abundantly clear. I did that. I went on a fucking tirade about that on my own live stream the other day, saying like, I don't understand. People are allowed to have a difference of opinion and express those differences and still not agree at the end of a conversation because it was just a conversation, not a convincing thing. Like it, the whole point of us talking about a topic that we have opinions on is to hear both sides of the equation, right? We just do. I want to understand from your point of view and vice versa.
Like people are like, Cam, you looked bad in this. And it's like, yeah, I know. That's like, I uploaded it. I know how it happened.
But like, you didn't look bad in this.
I think I didn't perform up to my own standards personally. I think I should have challenged a couple of assertions that were being made that I don't still agree with. But I think that like the thing that bothered me more than the idea of people being like, I don't think you like that, is like, dude, I know what it looked like. I uploaded it.
Yeah.
I was there. Like I have full control over what goes up on my channel.
Yeah.
Even if it makes me look bad. And that's okay. Like I have to be able to do that. But what gets me is at the same time, they'll turn around and they'll be like, you're arrogant. It's like, I don't know, man. I feel like if I was, I wouldn't put that shit on my channel.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting additional point too, because you're right. 100%. Like if, let's be honest, because it didn't happen this way. If we went into that episode and I just berated the shit out of you, called you explicative, or just ate that every point really
funny.
It would have been, but like ate every points of that you would bring to me successfully to a non-defensible standpoint, and you were just like, I lose, I give up everything. For you to not upload that episode, then that's arrogance. Exactly, that's worse because I have like, hey, what happened to the episode? And then I, as a creator, have to make the call of, wait a minute, what's going on? Do I talk about this
like that?
Like it's just, it's just stupid.
I feel like if I get like if I broadcast a lot of myself, and I'm not a perfect person, and I think that like, yeah, I know. I think that like to try to hide something like that, where my conclusion was before I uploaded it was like, this is probably going to make me look bad. That's worse to me than looking bad. But it felt like there's not an understanding of that, in the sense of like, I know what this makes me look like. I know what it's going to do. And I'm doing it anyway because of the respect I have, presumably, for my audience, but mostly just because it seems like the right thing to do. And it's like, I feel like there's a lack of understanding of intentionality here, maybe. That's what it felt like to me.
I can see that too, because I read a bunch of those. A lot of the comments, were very supportive of both of us, saying it's great to hear and refreshing to hear
there was
two differences of opinion,
that, yeah.
and it still be constructive and entertaining. And like, it really was. And I watched the whole episode back myself as well. Like, it was a good conversation. Like, the back and forth we had was never hostile, was never, and never has been like straight up mean, or snide or any of that nature. It just, we were talking about something that we're both passionate about, wanted each other to understand each other's point of view, got those points across. Some things changed, some things didn't at the end of the conversation on points of view. I know for me, some things did in a good way, because I understand better from your point of view and vice versa.
I think what happened was people didn't watch to the end to see us like sort of synthesize it after the show and Batroc discussions.
Maybe.
Like, that's my honest thought process. Is I think people got like 20 minutes in and they saw the contentious part, and then they didn't get to the end where we were like, and here's what we learned today, which,
yeah,
I don't really know if I can fix that. Unfortunately,
that you can't fix. You can't. You can fix your camera by doing this, but you can't fix.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You can't fix people not watching to the very end, unless if they subscribe and make sure that they watch it to the end of every single video all the time, and always support your creators by doing that.
Play it on
absolutely.
A loop.
Yeah.
Ask for more ads. Yeah.
Always ask for more ads. More ads, but not more crags.
No, less crags. A lot less crags. Someone in my comments made a great joke that was like, I'm going to play Wong, Kraglin, Odin, and construct a crag pipe. I enjoyed that one. I thought that was a good riff. I was like, they're cooking.
Okay,
they're cooking crag.
That's one
of
cooking
crag.
That's one of the better ones so far. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, like I like that. It was
now,
like,
legitimate question though: who's better, Kraglin or Major Victory? I know. Good luck.
Kraglin. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say Kraglin.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Major Victory is worse for you than Krag.
Yep. It is. There's a famous tweet that goes, I'll serve crack before I serve this country. And that's kind of what the Kraglin Major Victory thing and is analogous to in my head.
Yes.
I'll serve Krag before I serve this country.
I tried Major Victory. I tried doing some Quinjet, Victoria Hand shenanigans stuff just to see if I could do it. And it's like, I have zero reason to ever do this. Like, literally zero reason.
Ika's a great deck builder and a great player.
Yes, absolutely.
But sometimes he'll just like link a deck. He'll be like, what's up? I'm winning with this. And it'll like have Mad Thinker and Major Victory in it. And I'll be like,
no. Sorry, I draw the line. Dude. A Mad Stinker, I draw the line. I can't do that. No, thank you. Nay.
He's such a good player. There are two players I specifically want to shout out, Ika and Honifer, who I think people just don't respect enough as deck builders. They're just amazing. They're amazing deck builders who are consistently doing interesting things and pushing the meta forward in ways that like make them stand out to me as people to pay attention to. And I know a lot of really good players, and this is not meant as a slight on any of them. Just like I feel like in the last month or so, those two guys have been cooking. They are on a heater.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that for reasons I can't discuss yet. But I'll say that I agree.
What? Hold on. No, you don't get to vague post on our goddamn podcast.
I have to.
Like, if you want to say NDA, but you don't get to vague post this.
It's NDA. That's why. But
okay. Right.
But I'll say anybody who could try to make Major Victory work, look, go have fun, but just don't call me. because this card is just it's just not worth my time or effort. And it kind of leads to this topic that I do want to talk about, like the only actual topic I had for the week, because it also
shit,
like
you prepared a topic. That's crazy.
I actually did, because it literally synergizes to exactly what we're talking about, right? We just talked about Kraglin, right? We just attempted to talk about Major Victory, because Major Victory. Right. Then on top of that, you've got Jack Flag coming out next week. Well, the upcoming week, right? The next Series 5 card. And it's basically Captain America for green power, TLDR, right?
He's a little better because he affects himself.
Yes. Is it just me? Or has the value of Series 5 and just the quality of cards that have come out in the last couple of months, minus Fin Fang Foom, it just like absolutely been...
You know what? I think this is a good segment. I don't know how you want to handle this. I can either pull it up on my screen or you can put it on the screen. But if you just want to show me them, we can go through and we can do sound effects for each of them. We can do like bleh, or like yay.
Done.
If that would be helpful.
All right, fine. Here we go. Ready? Star-Lord sound effect.
No, you got to go further than that. You got to go further than that.
I'm on this page already. I'll get there.
Okay. I mean, Star-Lord's pretty obviously a yay to the point that you start throwing up.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, like you know you would get really into going yay, and then you like suffocate.
Magus. Yeah, I'm about
actually. Hold on, go back to Magus for a second.
Sure.
I have a theory of this card. This card is a seeded card for objectives. This guy is going to copy the objective card my deck is built around out of my deck. Especially if that objective card is the newly data mined Storm that requires you to skip 2 turns in a row. Skip some energy 2 turns in a row. Oh, I didn't draw Storm. Good thing this guy's here.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Watch this space. He's not going to be as good as Prodigy, but watch this space.
Until then, right?
Yeah, until then, yes.
Moondragon.
Pretty good. Give it a solid plus.
Yeah, plus. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Drax, Avatar of Life.
Plus. Not his fault though. He's like Matthew Stafford on the Lions, where it's like it's everyone else's fault. It's not his fault. He's got something in him. You just got to give him like 20 years. But it's not his fault.
Yeah, I'll give Drax that's about as close as I can get for that. Kraglin, good luck. Yeah. It actually is the sound effect that it looks like his little guy down on the bottom is making.
Yeah, what's up with his like off-brand Jeff?
Someone's going to go into full detail in the comments about it, but it looks like Jeff fell into a vat of acid.
Yeah, like a sort of failed Jeff clone kind of vibe.
Yeah. But whatever sound effect that thing makes, that's the sound effect for the card.
Yep.
That's a fair assessment.
I got to tell you, having spent $20 on Krag, on a shiny Krag.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to admit, but it's important to be accountable. I spent $20 on Krag.
You got to blame your dealer, Vincenzo
the dealer.
Jack Flag.
He just makes it look so pretty.
True.
Plus.
Really?
Yeah, I think this guy's gonna be pretty reasonable. Like, this is like a card that I think is like, I've already been kind of aware of the space of like Surfer and Moonstone and Captain Carter. And I think Captain Carter Moonstone is like basically never been bad. Like it's just
right. That's fair.
Pretty much always a fine thing to be doing. And I'm at least interested to see it work here. Like, I think largely if this card comes out, what people are going to realize is like, hey, Captain Carter Moonstone, not nearly as bad into Fin Fang Foom as people would have you believe. Like, I think that's going to be the big takeaway. Like, sometimes a card will come out and people will be like, oh, the deck this card goes in is actually good. And I just haven't been playing it because it's boring. And I think there's a real chance of that with Jack Flag. Like, This card, maybe not amazing, but Captain Carter Moonstone is just basically never bad.
I think the sound effect I associate with this card, though, is kind of like, ooh, because it's a new player card. It's a new player ongoing card that helps that deck tremendously. And if you play ongoing, you are very interested in this card because there's, as you said, if you have the more what we'll call advanced ongoings, there's a lot you could do with this. Like I could see this in a Surfer build, of course, with Chameleon and Mystique and Moonstone and all of these things actually kind of working together because it feeds off of each other as variations of what you want it to be. So I'm interested in the card, but I just don't think it's anywhere close to relevant because there's so many other things that are just so much better right now. So it's an elevator card.
I think I wouldn't be surprised to see this card in like a pretty okay deck. I wouldn't be shocked.
Major victory.
Of several fart noises.
That's fair.
Yep.
Starhawk, who comes out in Sanctum Showdown on the 26th.
Do you know the sound effect of like a Pokemon trainer seeing you? Little exclamation point pops up above their head.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah.
That's kind of what I think of for Starhawk.
I kind of have more like the anime sweat droplet, just like the
interesting, just like one. Yeah. I can see
just
it.
like
I can see it.
Okay, that's just the
My
constant
cat thought
reaction.
that was a meow.
Meow. Your cat's reacting to the sound effects.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. She comes. We talk to each other. Like I meow at her and she meows at me and then she jumps up here and that's actually straight up how this works.
Go back a season. Show Lao.
The same exact reaction as actually worse reaction Starler. Holy shit. That's the sound effect.
I kind of go more towards the end of the intro to Home Improvement.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I could see it being an or like a like a Jerry Seinfeld
Yeah. The sound nevertheless. Dragon of the Moon. What's the sound?
Post buff or pre-buff. Because post buff is just a good card.
Well, let's go post.
3/4 Dragon of the Moon is just good. What's the sound effect? The sound effect of like All Might giving a thumbs up. That's what I get to here.
Maybe just a very significant like.
Yeah, like a.
That's fair. Lockheed.
Ooh.
That bad?
Yep.
Oh. I'll give it a Lin Lee post.
Meant to signal intrigue, but potentially no substance. But there's interesting stuff here.
I'll lean into the all right. Just kind of like you're doing the thing. Okay. You just all right. Good luck. Have fun. Oh boy. Fin Fang Foom.
The absolute god. My favorite card ever made. They're definitely gonna have to nerf this guy.
Oh yeah.
Beast mode. My sound effect would be.
That's actually a lot calmer than I was expecting. I'll wind up.
Expecting the sound of blood rushing to my crotch.
We're just gonna let that silence stay there for a bit.
Oh, I was trying to make the sound. You couldn't hear it because my mic is too good. I was trying to make the sound of like rushing water.
I was gonna lean more into like big beefy.
That was actually really impressive.
Thank you. Like
that was good.
It is a.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
More or less. It is a scary, scary dragon.
Oh no, I meant my erection.
Oh boy. Guys, I tried. Audience, I really tried. You heard it. I really tried. I tried to save you.
You can cut that if you want. Like, genuinely, you're allowed to cut that. I think it's hilarious, but I'm not sure it's exactly the vibe you're looking for here.
There is no such thing as vibe. There is just whatever happens. Shang-Chi Master of the Rings post. That was such a defeated sound. Just
yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. I'm glad you picked up on it.
Yeah, it was just defeated. Yep. That's the best way to word it. Wing beat.
Sort of like a pixelated thumbs up sound. Less emphatic than the All Might one, but like, you know, the sound of Mario getting an extra life, maybe.
I could hear that. I can't replicate that sound, but for some reason I have this swirly animation in my head. So like, you know, just like, yay, like a thumbs up check mark.
I'm pretty sure that's actually just what Majestic Wing Beat sounds like. So you might be just thinking of the SFX.
I might be. I haven't played the card in a while, so it could be just like I might be just digging that out of the back of these scary depths. And then Dragon Lord.
Oh God, how do I sound effect 3 out of 5? I can't figure out how to do it. Yeah, like a really sad trumpet.
Yeah.
Like it's like triumphant, but there's only one, you know? Like you won the battle, but not by a lot.
Yeah.
All the other trumpets are dead, but you still got the one guy.
I think we're gonna, if we go any further back into the seasons, we're gonna bury the bit into the ground. But it's a good thing to kind of refresh back into, because especially
no, go to Weapon X. I have like several fart noises saved up.
Oh God.
We got to talk about just the absolute nut low season of all time.
All right, go for it. Weapon X. The best part.
It's pretty good, right?
No, the best part is your mic cut out several bits of the sound, so only one little tiny tube.
All my visual gags.
No, but
my audio gags.
No, but it's going to be so much better for the podcast listeners rather than the video, because they're only going to hear this one little tiny sound that came out of whatever extended thing that was.
That is a little more accurate.
It was. I can't wait for you to hear it back yourself, because it was such a perfect sound. Adamantium infusion.
What's like this card? I actually have to use words for.
Oh boy.
It never does anything remotely fair. It only does stupid things, but it's also not good enough to be interesting in the stupid things that it does. It does the worst and most obnoxious stupid things in the game.
So would you say
like, what is this card doing?
Is more like, I have a rabbit, George.
The sound effect is like, the sound effect is, I want that Russian hat back. I got another Seinfeld one there.
Gotcha.
You remember that?
Little over my head on that one. I wasn't the
sound effect is the sound effect is the sound effect is Kramer opening the door. Just like, all right.
Yeah.
Here comes shenanigans.
Chamber.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, just a big celebratory. Yay! Hooray!
Yep. Good job on this one.
Weapon H.
Ugh.
You know when you're playing Fruit Ninja and you cut through a watermelon?
I don't, but I bet I can imagine it.
That shring.
Sure. Yeah. No, I can see that.
I think that covers everything with that card. Maverick.
Ooh.
No further comment. Aurora.
Yep. Yay!
Yeah. Again, another big hooray! Woohoo! Yay! Kind of card. Phantom X.
It's weird because I like this guy, but nobody else does. Like, so I want to give him a big old yay, but I don't think that would be intellectually honest of me.
I hate facing this deck So mine is the sound of a cartoon plank that's being dropped down. So it's that like sound effect, because that's the sound effect of my middle finger going in the air. Just
sure.
Yeah.
I won't make the joke again.
That's fine.
This. Oh God, I forgot there were other cards in the season. Holy shit.
Yeah. Wade Wilson. Oh yeah.
Sound effects of like screaming and zombies tearing me apart. Sort of what this card is like.
Yeah, it's pretty on point. Marrow.
Actually, just a good card. Like genuinely, that's a yay.
Yeah. It's a good solid 2/7. That actually has purpose.
It's a nice little card. It's a
Just
0/7, really. If you really get down to it.
Yeah, true. Just all right. That's all you get. Just an all right. And fastball special.
The exact same sound effect is for adamantium infusion for me. This is Kramer opening the door. This is just door slamming open. Jerry, I need to talk to you. That's yeah.
And Wild Child to round us out.
Exact same as Phantom X, because there is presumably 0 decks that one goes in without the other.
That's fair. 100% fair. Yeah, they're a necessary pair.
So, Series 5s that are good in the last 3 months. Aurora, Maverick, Fin Fang Foom?
Maverick. I'd say probably just Maverick, Fin Fang Foom. Aurora's
pretty relevant, dude. Like she's been around. Like that's a card people play.
It's not very nice to say about her. That's really insulting, my friend.
What's insulting about that?
That she's been around.
You're the one who's implying there's something wrong with that. I'm not implying anything wrong with that. I'm totally non-judgmental of this. Okay. If anyone here is being insulting, I think it's you.
Fair. Continue then.
She really gets around. Like, wow, does she get around? No, I think the card is pretty good. Like, yeah, not a Maverick level card, but a card doesn't like.
Yeah.
What are your standards for saying something is worthwhile? That it has to be nerfed? We're talking about Maverick. That had to be nerfed. I'd still have to be nerfed. Fin Fang Foom probably gonna have to be nerfed. Like, I don't think those are the only cards that you can actually look at and be like, this matters. Aurora's like a good enough deck that I made a video talking about here are some underrated decks, and she didn't even enter into the equation because I don't think she's underrated enough. Like, I think it's just a good deck, and I don't know. I think. Like Aurora is in the Doom 2099 stuff, is in the like super teched out, Stardust Jean Grey stuff. Like,
right.
She does that. If you want to play like the techest deck of all time, that's her. She's what enables that to happen. The deck wouldn't exist without her. I think she's good. A lot of January was quite mediocre. That wasn't Fin Fang Foom.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think is sort of where
you had Sholau and then Friends. That's the best way to describe the season. Like generally speaking, I think potentially the biggest win of the entire season may have been Dragon Lord, because it was the best easy access targetable card we've had in a while. It's just a simple card that can go into a variety of decks. It was low effort and low value to get. Like the resource to reward ratio for that card was probably better than any of the other Series 4 cards we've had come out in a while. Like Major Victory. You know what I mean?
I'd have to double check, but that sounds like a believable thing to me, in that Dragon Lord is interesting and a lot of them are Major Victory. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Fastball Special was one of those, and that's a better card than Dragon Lord, even if it is fully shenanigan pilled. I don't know. I think that I think that perception largely comes from the fact that there were some pretty big outliers, and they make a lot of other stuff look bad by comparison, right? Like, maybe if Sholau isn't running around doing what he's doing and Starlord isn't running around doing what he's doing, these other cards actually get a time to shine. People talk about how it's got to be good business for them to make these busted cards, but it might not be, because it means that they overshadow every other card they release. And I think it's a lot more nuanced than people who are like, yo, let's just make a busted card in the season pass, because there are significant risks to that in every other card that you make. And it's why power creep is like a bad thing generally. It's why it's a dangerous thing. It's why other games have rotation, right? It's naturally, the longer things go on, the more copies of effects you have, the worse things get for you. But if you have to make a new card that competes with Starlord and Sholau, what happens when you miss high on that new card? You know?
Right.
Like, it's why Marvel Snap gets to... It's why live balance is so good for this game, because not only can they reduce down outliers, what they can do is bring up the power of weaker cards. Like when they did the OTA last week, and Alex Coach's framing on it was, this is good for free-to-play players because they just buffed a bunch of free-to-play cards. They can do that, right? Like the game can power creep without the negative parts of power creep, or without some of them, right? Because the biggest negatives to power creep are that there's a bunch of cards that don't matter, and a bunch of things that can't compete, and it's really hard to get to the cards that do matter. That's the biggest negative, but they can at any time make a card everyone has matter if they want to. They can just solve half of the problem with power creep by the nature of the game.
They attempted to do that with Ghost. Keyword, attempted.
Well.
Attempted.
But yeah.
Legitimately, though, that's what the attempt was. It was to say, this is an oppressive deck. You already have this piece of shit. Here, now you have a solution. Be quiet. That was exactly what that was.
I don't know if I would phrase it like that, but sure, yeah.
I would. Hence, I did.
How do you keep getting work? How do you keep getting work from them? Like, yeah, let's go to that guy. I don't know. Sorry, I just remembered something.
Oh no.
I just remembered the team answer where Glenn Jones said, "I don't answer bad faith questions."
Oh yeah.
And then like today he's answering a question where someone is like, "Do you guys even test this stuff?" It's like
the official team answer is ...
Like, what do you mean you don't answer bad faith questions? I don't know. I clearly have a different definition of bad faith than Glenn does. Sorry, I just remembered that in the middle of that conversation about
that's fair.
Like putting voices in the mouths of the devs.
I don't know. I just recapping before I lose my other train of thought. I just have this consistent feeling that there's been such a shadow cast by Sholau and by Starlord. And with the dramatic contrast of Weapon X in comparison, that it has led to the last 3 seasons just feeling incredibly underwhelming, minus 3, maybe 4 cards. And I felt like, you know, it was something that I was kind of reflecting on. Like, there used to be seasons where we would be so excited for all 4 Series 5 releases regularly. And I don't remember the last time we had a season coming out, a full season, where I looked at every week going, man, if I don't have the resources, I have to choose one to not get. Which one am I choosing to not get? I haven't had that feeling in Snap in a long time. And is that due to too many cards coming out? I know. That's what that's what I want to discuss. Like,
yeah. Isn't that just what happens when there are more cards? Things have more competition and it's harder for them to break through. Isn't that just like how, like, this is why they do power creep, right?
Yeah.
Is because if you don't, you just lose to V-Hand for 6 months of the year, right?
I mean it more in the sense of like, we used to have a lot of seasons coming out, and I know we have one in the data mines right now that talks about all this new effect with, another game mechanic, right? So like next season, it looks really interesting, and we'll talk more about it really into detail next week. But I look into that and I'm like, that's something I'm finally excited to really see, where there's several cards that I'm going, that could be broken,
Right.
that could be broken, that could be broken, that could be broken. And I just felt like the last couple of seasons, collectively as seasons, they just felt like if you had to rate them, they'd all be like a C minus the season pass.
Sure. My challenge to you is to prove that that is anything other than how you feel. Because
the diversity of the decks, that would be my way to be able to prove
no, like just go tell me a season where you were excited for every card in the last year. Tell me one.
I really enjoyed the Fantastic Four season. I thought that was
were you excited at the time for Human Torch First Steps? Were you like, this card is busted? I don't think you were.
As a surfer player, yeah, absolutely I was. I had the videos.
You are still playing him. I'm just saying, like, I think it's like
we all were for a while. Let's be honest here.
I'll buy specifically that, but other cards that came out that season include, Mad Thinker, Mole Man, Herbie, Fantasticar.
But the conversation is the Series 5 releases specifically, the ones that we should be excited for every single week. We have a new thing, not the Series 4 ones that get in limited time games.
At the time, the thing First Steps was regarded as a whiff. I remember that. And at the time, Human Torch had a couple of like weeks before Invisible Woman kind of like dunked all over everything, and it became clear pretty quickly that he wasn't a part of that deck. But I would argue
that took like 2 weeks to switch in that. Yeah, I agree.
It was about 2 weeks, but yeah. And the thing was like, I was high on the thing, and that was not a popular position.
I remember that actually, yeah.
And I recall this not being the same way. Like what you're talking about is functionally the difference of one other card. Like if Fin Fang Foom was in January and also like an Invisible Woman First Steps card was in January.
January's a tough month. I always keep having to rewind it in my head. Oh yeah, that's this one. No, I was on vacation, so I wasn't
this month, right? Like, oh right, okay. So like, what that's about like add Maverick into the current season?
Right.
Obviously, like, I don't think it's as far off. Like, I don't think I pulled up a list, and I think you did pick the best season, but I don't think I think you could argue that was a 2 out of 4 season.
The point was, going into the season, was I excited for it? As I saw those cards prior to the season and getting ready for it, I was very excited for all 4 of those cards to release. How that happened afterwards upon testing and release is different.
I've got an actual one for you that I think does fit both your criteria and my criteria. Marvel Rivals season. Let me read you this roster. Galacta.
Yeah. Rocketing
Penny
Groot.
Parker. Not great, Penny. But we thought that could be a Wiccan card.
Yeah.
Doom 2099. Rocketing Groot. And then the off week of Bruce Banner. That's 3 cards that were just like, these are bangers. That's sort of what I'm getting at is like, I think that if there are 3 cards in a season out of like 5, including the season pass, that are bangers, people will be like, this was a good season. That is my theory.
Yeah. You need at least,
it doesn't have to be all
3. 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Even 3 out of 5. I can, if it's the every third month, routine. Yeah. I can live with that. I just felt like the last 3 seasons, I never had a feeling of like, I'm uber excited for all of these cards, or a majority of these cards. And I think I do want to say a part of the season. Symbiote. Oh, that was
all bangers. Not a bad card in the bunch.
That was a good season. Yeah. That one stands out. Yeah.
Yep. Not a single bad card in the bunch. Scream, Agent Venom, Misery, Scorn, Toxin, Anti-Venom. Banger.
That was a really solid
be their best season ever. That's a really good season. Holy crap.
Possibly.
That's unbelievable.
Like, I think a part of it too, even though, like I said, the conversation is about the Series 5 releases, I wonder also, like, to my own feeling, how much of it is because of the watering down, because you do have influence of all the other Series 4s that release through game modes and all of these other things. Like, how much of that is bleed over to me assessing how good a Series 5 card is compared to a season that maybe had one Series 4 card release within it in a 4-week cycle with Series 5s. Because that whole system obviously has changed and the cadence of cards has gone way up too. And there's a lot of pool dilution, but I think it's the reason I'm so excited for next season in particular, because it's new mechanics. It's thinking about game strategies in a whole new way. Like when Phantom X and Wild Shout were data mined, I wasn't excited about that idea because it was just taking two currently existing archetypes and kind of just saying, here's a fusion of them together. It was like in Yu-Gi-Oh! When you finally had XYZ. Like it was taking that same idea and was saying, okay, we're going to take parts of this and turn it into a new thing. Objective looks like this is a new thing. It's a new way to think about the game. And I'm excited for that because I feel like we've gotten a little stale because we've had variations of move be the new meta. We've had variations of ramp become the meta. We've had variations of, you get the drift. It's just like,
I do. I just think that
archetype innovation is something that should come from the Series 5s that doesn't as much anymore.
But the reason it doesn't do that as much is because there is less space for it to do that because of how many cards there are in the game. Like, the reason they don't have the ability to innovate archetypes is because they already innovated those archetypes. Like that's sort of the issue. Out of ideas? Not that they're out of ideas, but the more cards you make, the more design space closes off. The more you need to get creative to find design space that is available to you, the harder that job is.
Right. And I 100% get that.
I think that, like, for me, Phantom X is cool. Like, I guess the sort of thing is like the difference between our perceptions on this is when I saw Phantom X, I was like, oh, that is cool. I really do want to do that. That is a different thing. I saw Phantom X and Wild Shot and I was like, oh, I'll be able to do something else for once. That is different enough for me. And I think that what you're describing is just, that's what a game this old that doesn't rotate is. Like, I don't know if what you're suggesting is like a fixable problem. It's not like they can do a new mechanic every month.
Right.
How'd you feel about the zombie season?
That was an exciting season. I did enjoy the zombie season. I loved that it was a full season dedicated to a new archetype, literally a new archetype, a new combo, a new package that you could build around. And once we also knew straightforward that this is it, they're doing this once, and they're not looking to make other zombie cards, then that also retrained my view of it. Like, oh, this isn't a, we're going to get a bunch of on reveals and eventually we'll get a bunch of zombies versions of other seasons, like zombie Guardians of the Galaxy eventually someday, because it integrates with that season and that archetype. And they just said, no, we're just doing this like this and that's it. So they nailed the package. And if you want to run the package in other stuff, go for it. I enjoyed that because it was very different than discard plus destroy.
Well, because what I'm hearing, and I think this is an interesting thing, is that you like when things happen that create new decks. And it's a lot more likely for those things to happen if they use multiple cards in a season to do that. Invisible Woman played Mr. Fantastic, right? Like right. It's a lot more like the zombie stuff played the other zombie stuff. It's a lot more likely to happen if they can devote additional power to a deck.
Me personally, yes.
But the flip side of that, and I've talked a lot about the flip side of stuff here,
that's what happens,
is that it makes those decks harder to acquire for a newer player because the entry cost is higher. It's the reverse of what we talked about with the Star-Lord stuff.
Yep.
And so while I agree that they can push that button, I don't think they can push it regularly. I think that like what you're asking for is cool and good for people like you and me. We like novelty. We've been playing the game for a while. We've seen a lot of it.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it would be hard for me to ask them to make 2 Fin Fang Foom level cards a season in different archetypes, let alone in their own archetype.
No, and you're definitely striking a chord there, because, and as I said, it's just a personal feeling. It is not me speaking on behalf of the community. It's not like I see these in chats, or it's just a feeling I've had recently that I wanted to discuss, and identifying exactly what that is and why is sometimes just needs a second pair of eyes or ears. And
do you want to hear what I learned during this conversation?
Uh-oh. I'm already scared, because I know when you set these up, there's going to be something interesting afterwards.
You ready to hear just the worst season of all time? Listen to these cards. It's saved by exactly 1 card. There is 1 playable card in here. You ready for this?
Oh boy.
Viv Vision, Bastion, Jim Hammond, Human Torch, Warlock, Jocasta. The Series 4 cards, Super Adaptoid, and Danger. Woof.
It's the most meh season of the list so far. Yeah.
That is like bad. Yeah, I was going through here and I was like, what's the worst season on here? That one. It's that one, because like you look at like Galactus First Steps. Okay, that card was good. Cosmic Ghost Rider was good. Fallen One was bad but around. Redshift bad but around, thanks to Hela. Stardust, very relevant card. All and that Agatha stuff. We already talked about the Invisible Woman season.
Right.
You go further back than that. Dormammu, cool as hell, not great. Nightmare was around. All of that stuff was around. You saw plenty of that, like Dormammu, Clea, Ancient One. That's a pretty solid season. Can't complain about that. You go back, Merlin was the season pass card. It was amazing, right? The only season I could think of that's like close to dud level on that. Here are some cards for you. Esme, Kaku, Prodigy, Elixir, Zorn, and Surge. I think this one scrapes by on the existence of Surge and Prodigy, but it's close.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, skin of the teeth, like, barely.
Underratedly good season, the What If season. Goliath, Captain Carter, Kahori, Infinity, Ultron, and Strange Supreme.
Yeah, they're all like surprise cards in a way, where it's like, it might not be the first card you go for in the deck that you're trying to build, but then when you realize you can include it, you go, you know what? Actually.
And here is, I would argue, this might just be the best season they've ever done. Iron Patriot, Victoria Hand, Moonstone, Bullseye, Ares.
Snaps. Yes.
Not a miss in the bunch.
Nope.
Not a miss in the bunch. But at the same time, that's 2 cards that had to get nerfed. So 3 cards that had to get nerfed, actually. That's 3 cards that had to get nerfed and 1 card that I think is really good right now that no one's playing. So it's like, we call these seasons good because they do a bunch of things. But at the same time, in order to get to that power level, they have to take risks.
Yeah.
And whenever they take risks and overshoot, we shit on them forever. Like, it's like, can you believe they made this thing? You fucking believe that? It's just like, yeah, dude, I can believe that. Like, I can definitely believe it, right?
I can believe it too. I survived Loki. Yes.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what the solution here is. I just feel like lately I've been feeling pretty strongly that they keep flipping coins and the coin will land up heads and we'll be like, oh my fucking God, I can't believe it's heads. And then they'll flip the coin and it'll end up tails. We'll be like, these assholes made it tails. Like it's like, hold on. Like, I feel like there just needs to be a little bit of consistency here in what we believe, please.
So I'm gonna down that path of thought. You have every right to interrupt me and tell me in the middle of this idea that I'm going to edit this out of the video because you're actually going to do this video on your own channel. And I don't want to step on that. Otherwise,
I'd love you don't have to edit it out.
Or
if I do the video, I don't, we're an hour and a half of the podcast. I don't care.
Give or take. Fine.
It's fine.
next week, we're getting ready for the following season with all these objective cards coming out. There's a big OTA. Probably one of the most meaningful OTAs in a while. And that's coming after a Show Lao season. What happens on it? What is the Faux-TA for February? Besides,
I can do that.
Sorry. Besides Fing Fang Foom.
I can do that. I probably will do that. I can do that this Saturday. I need a video for Saturday anyway. Why not?
Yeah.
I would do the following. I would do either 4-4 or 4-3 on Star-Lord. I would do Fin Fang Foom 7-10. I would do Show Lao 5-5. I would do, let's see, other cards that come up. I would do Batroc 1-3+1. I hate that guy. I would sincerely consider doing something about Sam Wilson, but I have no good ideas. Maybe just yoink a power off of him. But again, it's the Batroc thing. Like, I just think that deck is way too good. I would take a look at like potential future outliers. Like, how do we feel about Man Spider being a big thing? Are we comfortable with that? How do we feel about Adamantium Infusion Fastball Special? Not because they're broken. I don't have the data, but I would take a look at them and be like, okay, what does the data tell me about this? Right? Like just an area of concern. But for me, largely, my targets would be, I would like to make Star-Lord a little bit worse. Not like, oh my God, you got to like kill the deck. This is a pretty good deck. But like, I want to make it worse enough that people don't just play a million Star-Lord mirrors. I think the biggest QOL change I can give is lowering the play rate of that. And so just like slapping some points off and being like, whatever, it's fine. Fin Fang Foom is kind of the card carrying the entire deck. They just don't really have a lot of point output. Like, they have plenty of normal point output, but they don't go over the top of combo decks with the other card. It just doesn't happen. And it seems pretty free to slap 2 points off of him. Maybe the freest thing you could possibly do. That's sort of where my head is at. I think Show Lao just needs dings forever. Like, that guy sucks. I hate him.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know my pitch for Show Lao is the characters thing, but I don't even think that's meaningful anymore because now everyone's just playing Kitty and Kate Bishop anyway. Doesn't change shit. So clearly I was wrong about thinking that would matter. Clearly I just don't know what I'm talking about. And the Batroc stuff, Show Lao keeps finding ways to glue himself to shit that's already good. That's the thing that gets me about him.
Yeah.
Is like, first he glues himself to Merlin, and I'm like, all right, well, let's fix that. And then he glues himself to Batroc, and it's just like, well, that's also a problem. Like, I hate the guy. That's sort of where my head is at on this stuff. Those are the like locked in, and I would do like, 5-5 Show Lao, 4-3 Star-Lord, 7-10 Fin Fang Foom. You could negotiate me directionally on basically any of those.
I think some of it you're pretty close on because I agree with the 4-3 Star-Lord. I think that's the direction they have to go. Not because it's the right direction, but because they need to try to lower the play rate of that card going into the next season, specifically, just to back people off of it to say, look, we did something to it. And then hopefully going into next season, people will be more excited about playing into objective, and the combination will lower the play rate enough that it's acceptable. I really do think they hit Fin Fang Foom even harder. I think they bring him down to a 7-9. It's one of two things. It's either it's a 7-9 or they give him a blob effect where he has a cap of 20.
I would cap him at like 24, but yeah.
Yeah, just like some kind of a cap. I'm right now leaning towards 7-9, but I think that if it's still not enough, that's a direction that they're going to have to go because of what we've learned from Blob simultaneously.
The problem with the cap is that you still get to Fin Fang Zola, and if you get 2 triggers of Fin Fang Foom, even with a cap, who gives a shit? It just doesn't matter.
If you get that combo, you get that combo. But that's then also less Fin Fang Foom's fault. That's more Zola's
Let me put it
fault,
this way.
and that's Star-Lord's fault.
I think taking the points off is a notably bigger nerf than saying plus 12. I think taking the points off in most situations is going to be a significantly bigger hit. There are going to be some specific situations where it makes him worse. And if your argument is, I want to make him worse in those specific situations, like against Man Spider, I'm in.
I think outside of those, we can justify both Jeff and Silk being 2-4.
I wouldn't nerf Silk. I feel like that's crazy. Not because the deck isn't busted, just like she's not the culprit. Like it's genuinely like walking into the proverbial room with like 2 dictators and your boss and shooting your boss. Like, look, you gotta hit Hitler with that one, man. Like I'm trying to hit the actual problem.
I'm trying to approach that deck without going, okay, how else are we gonna like really start hitting this deck? And the unknown location of Silk more often than not feels like, look, it's still 5 power and it's going to keep moving no matter what. It could be a 2/2 and you still probably play it to a certain degree because it gives so many procs to so many other cards so many times. So it doesn't need 5 power. Why not just hit
the card that's actually good, like Sam Wilson? If you're going to take a point off one of the cards, take a point off the good one. You're playing that deck.
I could be sold on that.
You take Sam Wilson. Take Sam Wilson in your opening hand 1,000,000 out of 1,000,000 times over Silk. Every single time.
For setup, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm not opposed to that.
It's you take Sam Wilson any day of the week. Like you want a 2/2 Sam Wilson, I'm listening. You want to hit Batroc to 1/1/1/0, I'm listening. You want to hit Hydra Stomper back down to 3/3 3/2 because it got a point of power for no reason, I'm listening. All of those, I'm in. I just don't know why you'd hit like the 10th best card in the deck.
Just to hit the deck in a way that it hasn't been hit before. Legitimately. That's the only reason why. Just try to find a different place to attack. Because
I want to smack Sam Wilson. I want to smack Sam Wilson and Batroc with a bat.
Batroc, I'm still on the page of Batroc being a 1/0.
Sure.
We talked about that
I'm
in
a 1/3 guy, but yeah. We have different philosophies on that, but I think both are respectable.
Yeah, I would be happy with either. To be clear, I'd be happy with either. I know I just prefer 1/0 versus 1/3 plus 1. I like the 1/0 plus 2. Show Lao.
I've got 3 pitches for you. Oh, sorry.
Shoot.
I didn't
No, go ahead. Go for it. Go.
Take a point off of all 3 of these cards. And this is just, I don't think there's data to support this. I just feel like it's the right thing to do for the future of the game. Frigga, Prodigy, Grandmaster.
Totally about it. All the duplication cards.
I think you see what I'm getting at there. And
all
I'm just
the
like,
duplication cards,
get rid of it. If they're cheap enough, just take the points off. Take the points of power off. I don't want to deal with it. Like, it's too cheap. It's too much. Get rid of it.
I definitely would support that. I think Frigga got a point of power to gain interest in the card. The interest is there. Now you can remove the point again. They've done that before, and now they got to do it again. I 100% would support all of that.
You were saying about Sholo?
I was going to concur with the 5/5 for the same reason as Star-Lord, just to back people off of it, to intrigue them into the March season, because it is a new mechanic and they're going to be so excited to promote it that I'm like, well, okay, sure. You want people to play the new thing, the new card, the new style, the new deck building possibilities because of the card, like, because of the mechanic. Like, yeah, you're going to want to incentivize that. So you decentivize playing the old stuff. So I think they do that to show Lao. And just another point of power definitely scares people enough to say, okay, sure, I'll try the other stuff for a while. Whether it's enough, I don't know. But
I think you could 5-4 him before people start seriously being like, okay, I'm worried about this.
Agreed. But they won't do it because I don't think there's enough data this season and enough true sentiment this season to say it's worth taking 2 points off again versus the reaction that caused the 2 points to come off during January. If that conversation was still going on throughout all of February, then yeah, you take off another 2 points. But it hasn't been about Sholau.
I feel like I was just wrong about Sholau. Where like I was downplaying how much better he was than everything. And then Star-Lord came out. And I was like, oh, no, Sholau's way better than this guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is what people are calling broken. Oh my God, what are we talking about? Like,
yeah.
I feel like I have to own that. I just got to be like, yeah, I thought it should be 5-6 and another restriction. Now I'm not sure that would have meaningfully done anything. And you know, I got to own that. That's on me.
That's fine. You're allowed to be human and make mistakes. It's weird.
Yeah, that card is the devil himself. That card is.
What happens then if all of those decks get nerfed, right? Let's say the Star-Lord deck gets hit hard enough, the Sholau decks get hit hard enough, and the Hydra Stomper decks get hit hard enough. What starts to emerge as a B tier deck because those decks have been hit?
V-Hand, Supergiant, Ramp, and Doom 2099 would be my guesses.
I could see that. Scary to think that Doom 2099's making a comeback.
Sort of making a comeback. I don't know. I don't think that deck is great, but it's really good at beating people who are trying to counter Star-Lord. It's one of Star-Lord's many remore. Where like sometimes there are just decks that because people have to like if they want to beat Star-Lord, like really care about Star-Lord, you know?
Yeah.
That like you're just like I'm gonna play a deck that totally doesn't give a shit. Like, oh, you're gonna play a Supergiant to beat my Star-Lord? Yeah, I'm playing Doom 2099. The game's over.
Yeah.
Like I just have more points than you. The game ended. Sorry. Like what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Yep. Like it's a very reasonable strategy. Metagame context always matters. It's definitely an important thing to recognize when you have the opportunity to do something like that. But I'm not sure it's much more than a flash in the pan that is based on that context.
That's fair. That's fair. I will say I'm excited for next week's talk in particular, just because there's so much happening going into the month of March. So there's going to be, new season. New seasons always mean new announcements, which means a whole bunch of cool stuff typically, because now we're through. These are always the worst. These 2 months, January and February, for all games, yet alone specifically, I've noticed with Marvel Snap as well. They're just the lowest content. They're the worst months for new things, and people are just going through the motions because they had the holidays and they just start getting their rhythm back. And then typically March, April, all of a sudden we start seeing this, like getting this push of activity from the game community. And Marvel Snap has a history of doing this too, that March and April are typically really good months and are uptick months. So I'm looking forward to, what's going to happen in March.
If I asked you for a source on that, would you tell me it's NDA'd, or is it just like my numbers?
Just go watch like play patterns, cycle patterns, view patterns. Like I know as a streamer, it's always been that way too. Ad revenue reflects that just as equally. Your percentages, like just
but
generally.
Like specifically those 2 months, because the way I understand the ad rev cycle is it's bad at the beginning of the year and then gets better progressively over the course of the year. I didn't realize you were looking specifically at. Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it does ebb and flow. So I'm not just talking ad rev. Like think about it with Marvel Snap, right? We go into the December months. They typically go on holiday throughout the last week of December into the first week of January, sometimes first 2 weeks. Some people stagger their vacations. So nobody's really like going hardcore into projects quite yet. So by the time they get to January, then they're like, okay, let's pick up really where we left off. Everyone's out of holiday brain. Let's dive in. They start working on X, Y, and Z for the next month or so to prepare for releases that happen in March and April. And if you look at the history of Marvel Snap in 23, 24, 25, and I am expecting the same in 2026, those are always been good activity months. As a content creator, they're great because I always see an uptick in views, live views, video views, the percentage in ad revenue, and things happening in Marvel Snap is synergetic to that. they all just kind of cycle and feed to each other. So as a creator, I'm excited for it because I mean, it's always a good thing for us. But as a player, I'm also excited for it because we finally start getting like things, you know?
I'm just such a sheep, man. Like, I don't even think about this. Like, every time I talk to like another content creator, yeah, they always talk about stuff like this. And I'm just like, I just, nothing about me changes. Like, I clock in, I clock out, I make a video, it goes up every day. That's what I do. And I feel like I can't think about stuff like this or my rhythm wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got to save this video for whenever. I can't do that. I don't have that. Like, my whole thing is premised on like, show up, do the job, right? That's the whole thing that I do, except when that job is streaming, obviously.
This is true. This is very true.
But I do think that, you know, outside of avenues on which I show only the worst parts of my personality, like a podcast, for example, I show 10% of the worst parts of my personality. A stream, it's 100%. You know, here you get like, oh, you know, he interrupts too much. You know, he's too ADHD, all that stuff, right? That's all real. On a stream, it's just like, what is this asshole doing? Don't get me wrong. I know there's someone in the comments who's going to be like, hey, man, I think that every time I watch you. Thank you for being a loyal viewer. But I do think there is a meaningful difference. And like part of why I don't stream as much anymore is because I hate who I am when I do that. I feel very irresponsible and I don't want to broadcast that as like a thing people should be. So that's sort of where that one is at.
I guess I've noticed.
I forgot what I was talking about.
No, I guess I've noticed these cycles because whether it be through being a part of, you know, Game On events and working with the tournaments, whether it be working with different Marvel and Snap websites over the years, I've had to recognize and understand these patterns because it would affect content flows that weren't my channel. And because it would be my job to follow the trends of activity. So I guess maybe just taking that part of my multiple years of history with this game, I've picked up on these cycles from working with different people over the years.
Interesting. So what I'm hearing is you're excited for a potential announcement. As the man who runs tournaments, can you tell me anything about what could be occurring in the near future? Are you like, all I'm hearing is the guy who runs tournaments is like, man, March and April, really like March and April. I'm a big fan of March and April. Is there smoke there?